Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am doing my weekly creative project. I was recently re-inspired by myself by these two notebooks. I found them in my stash today. I believe I got these at Walmart in 2019 when they were all the rave, and they came with multiple different layouts. This one is a monthly and a weekly, and I loved it. First of all, the horizontal is my jam and the lined is my jam, and it's undated, and I found them in my stash and I was flipping through and I remembered that someone had gifted me not these exact inserts, but a lot of different inserts for these. I believe they were either from Staples or Walmart or I don't know where, but I do know where I picked these two up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to repurpose this book. So this video is going to be cray. First of all, when I was filming it, I had life going on. My husband was watching TV, so I tried to come to a little smaller, quiet place. It didn't work, so I just decided to just do my thing and then, go ahead and put a voiceover later, because I know that there are times where when I do the music, you guys are like, what the heck is she creating? And it's just not a full process video. I believe this video is about 34 minutes. So if you hang on in, you'll see the finished product. So what I'm doing is I brought my cutting board because I am going to cut the insert part that I already used, because I really do want to use the monthly and the weekly for this book. I'm using my regular metal ruler, my box cutter, and I'm just gonna kind of cut along the edge so I don't mess up the seam of the book. And so I'm just gonna cut those out. I'm gonna put washi over it, and I'm gonna try to just make it a little bit pretty so that way I can use it. Now, during the process of all this, I have no order in how I want the books. They're all over the place in the beginning. But what I typically love is like a notes first book, like up front, and then like my weeks, and then like a commonplace book, like Stuff for Faith. So I totally failed to mention that my mini disc bound has been working out pretty good and great, but I'm reaching for it inside of the home, and I carry it around from room to room and just write stuff. So I am going to try to use this setup as my on-the-go carry. So today, when I picked up my son from football, I totally left my mini disc bound. I put my personal TN in the house, so I had nothing with me, and I was waiting for 30 minutes. I was watching my old videos, and so I came across some inspiration. So I was looking through my stash and found these. So anyhow, that's what sparked this. So these are the dailies, and I used in a regular dot grid, and it was just giving me all the feels. I love this type of planning or pretty planning. I love stickers, I love washi, I love designs, I love different textures, different colors. I'm very visual. I make them function for me, but I know that there are a lot. So this is the setup that someone sent me. They sent me these books, and then this gray little TN. Gwen, I think it was you. I'm not too sure. But I found them in my stash, and they kind of resemble the height of the Hobonichi Weeks. Like, you could put your Hobonichi Weeks in that cover and it'll be just fine. So this is the paper pad that I'm going to work with. It's all fall related. I want this to be more fall related. I'm going to make interchangeable little dashboards with pocket adhesive, so that if I'm using this by Christmas, I can change out to Christmas decor and all that good stuff. So I picked out a few papers ahead of time that I thought that would look good. So obviously you see me cut those inserts out. I put washi at the front, and now I'm just finding a pretty little paper to cover the first page of what I would see, because obviously I don't want to see that when I first open the book. Then later I thought maybe I'm just going to pin it back with like an ollie clip. I don't know, but that was my thinking when I was actually in here and just doing all the things. I will say that I was super hunched over, it was hard in a way to kind of create what I imagined, but I really wanted to put this video out as inspiration to repurpose the stuff, repurpose your books, your stuff, shop your stash, and just kind of like, go to town with what you already have, because I'm sure we all have tons. And personal TN is always my jam on the go. Personal rings, like obviously personal mini disc bound has a similar size. It's a little wider than personal size. I think it's a very compact size. So is the Hobonichi Weeks. They're all along that same size and length. So that's why I wanted to kind of pull this out. I saw that the notebooks were just sitting there unused and they were screaming for me to set them up. I think these are from the Planner Society and they have all those different labels. I am going to find one that says notes and kind of paste it at the top just for pretty little decor. They're not normally my jam, but I think it matches really pretty with the paper pad that I'm using. So I'm just trying to find them. I normally just glue it down and then put tape as an adhesive. That's going to be like the whole theme of this video. I do a lot of glue, a lot of tape, a lot of that clear tape right there. It just kind of holds stuff down without letting it see, it's like see-through, of course. So I love that week right there. And then I figure out that the December I already used it. So I'm just going to kind of glue it together. So I would have to use the next monthly that it comes in kind of after the fact of the week. So because usually the month comes first and then the weeks. But because of how I cut it out and on what I was used, I have to go ahead and cut it. So I found that I glued that little tab right there. I didn't really want to use it anyway. So I just kind of took it out, and then I just realized I'm just going to take all of these little tabs out. They're distractions for me. I mean, they were cute when I made them, but I'm going to take them out. I also have a video that is shared on my YouTube of kind of a walkthrough of these inserts when I was using them in 2019. I was mentioning on my Instagram earlier that I need to go back to my videos and rename them all. A few years ago, I wasn't filming daily. I mean, I was working full time. I wasn't really into filming like that. And I've labeled my my videos and all of the things that I used to as just like one-liners, and they don't really have on the description of what is actually in my video in terms of the sizes. So I shared that one, renamed that one. That's going to be a project that I'm going to be working on, because I do have a lot of videos out there. I have a lot of different content, and I want to be able to find it. So yeah, I'm going to just cut out some of these little dashboards. That's the cover. I'm just kind of matching it. It's kind of like a really nice gray, and it's just really nice. So these inserts are like personal size. That's why I'm going to call it a personal size. They're just like a tad taller. The width matches up perfectly. It's just they're a tad taller, which is why they're also, interchangeable for like the Hobonichi Week size. As you know, if you're in the community, you know that personal size and Hobonichi Week size is really not that far off from each other. So all I'm doing is I am making like a little piece of paper here so I can make the dashboard. I always try to use a little bit of those little adhesive pockets from the dollar spot. That's why when they come out every August or September, I buy a whole gang of them, because they are the main theme in a lot of the books that I use. So I'm just kind of putting that there so I can use it. I find some really pretty washi to enhance it, to cover up that gray on the side. I mean, I could have totally left that, but that would bother me. So I also tried to pick out some washi for this setup that I knew would work really good. That is like the wood grain washi. I think I got it local here in Houston, Texas. It's called The Little Craft Place. They also have an online storefront. So again, The Little Craft Place. You can go onto their Instagram, or their just Google, and they come right up. So I'm trying to decide here, how do I want to place these books? At first I put the weekly down, and I know that I never put my weekly first. That is a book that I'm going to be writing a lot in. So then I got squirrel and I found my dashboard, and so I'm taking it off. It's really just washi and packing tape. These are personal size. One's a Foxy Fix. That one's a Foxy Fix dashboard, and the other one is the picture or credit card holder. They're made for personal size, and all I want to do is just change out the washi, because that washi really doesn't go with the theme that I am looking for. I have some really pretty forest little animal fall kind of washi, and it's thick, just like this washi was. So I'm gonna just kind of put it together again. And I love using different ring inserts for a TN, especially these. Like if you wanted to use this as a wallet, that would be perfect, because you could put your cards in it. I just use washi and packing tape or regular tape, and it works out the same. So that's the pretty little tape that I want to use. It's got like all the little fall colors in my mind. Also, if you hear the fan in the background, I'm super hot. I don't know what is happening to me. Could be hormones, could be premenopausal. So I'm sitting in front of a fan, so hopefully it doesn't catch that audio so much, and it just catches my voice. But so here are the inserts. It's kind of like a secretarial dashboard. So I kind of put them side by side, and all I'm going to do is just put a few length-size washi strips down to cover up the holes, and then make it really easy for it to be a dashboard. I feel and then it's going to be wider to catch. If I have a wider book or the book gets chunky, it's just going to sit in there pretty nicely. I love doing this. I remember when I started with TNs back in the day, I would try to be really innovative about certain things that I could use with my TNs, and I would do it a lot with dashboards that I created. So it just works really, really good. I didn't put any packing tape at first, but I kind of forgot. So I go back later and put some packing tape to make sure that it's going to adhere and the tape is not going to kind of pull up. And it just shows, my family, some pictures. I think that is so pretty to look at when you first open up any kind of TN or any kind of notebook. I think the first thing to make it your own is stuff like pictures. Nobody's going to really have any kind of dashboards like that, because your own family is your own picture, and they're your own. They're unique to you, and it just makes things feel really homely. I think that the more you have things like that in there, the more you're really prone to use them. So I really, really love that I already have pictures right there. I will say that these pictures are actual pictures that I printed out at Walgreens. I've tried pictures that I printed out from my house and then cut them to size, but if they're on regular printer paper, it's going to stick to the actual card slot, and that is a complete disaster. So I have started, Walgreens is right up the street from me, so I just go on the app and find the many thousands of pictures that I have on my phone, and send them through the app to Walgreens, and they print they're really fast. My Walgreens they'll do it within an hour, so it's pretty cool. Right here, I just find that I already have a dashboard. I'm using it as a template to cut out the other color. I want a more neutral color on the other side of the dashboard. I like doing that because maybe I can find some scriptures or a card or a journaling card. I like things that say certain things. I'm not sure about the whole like a boss, but I can probably find a little scripture card or scripture to cover that later, which is what more than likely I will do. So now I just feel like it's a little bit more muted on the side right there, and that dashboard can go over my first insert, and that's what I'm trying to find. This first insert is more like a to-do. I thought I wanted to put the graph one first, and I thought that's what I was going to do. I noticed that these are stickers and they really get on my nerves. I was trying to pull them out, and then they just come off horribly. So I knew then that I was going to have to put some paper on them. So I was trying to see how that looked. I actually really liked the blue hint behind it, but I knew that graphed insert was going to be more like a commonplace book for me. And I wanted to have the to-do list up front, which I show you here hopefully soon. I had to put some more tape down because I was feeling like the regular washi was pulling up. So I think that the clear adhesive tape is really good. So that is the insert that I'm talking about. It's a really nice pink, and had that little blue thing not be there, I would have just left that color in just like that. I think it was really nice. But I did not like that little blue sticker that says 60 sheets of whatever. So I go on a really big mission to try to cover that. And the first thing that I did was a hot mess. The paper pack that I have had a lot of little journaling cards with it. And so that was like on the floor and I was trying to reach for it. But it was really cute. And I think it matched with the theme of stuff. So I started to cut them out. If I was prepping for this video, I would have cut a lot of my stuff and my supplies, but in my normal fashion, I never do that. So I like to just do things on the fly sometimes, but then when I'm in the video and I'm doing it, I would have been like, man, if you were a little bit more organized, chica, it would have probably worked out a little better. But obviously that's in retrospect. So I'm cutting this out. It has like a little saying on there, and I don't have my glasses, so I can't read what it's saying. But I like that whole setup. But then I'm like, oh, those stickers in the front and then the stickers in the back. That is not going to be cute. I do not like that. So I decide that I'm going to cut out some more little journaling cards and see if I can't cover it up. Now, I don't have my adhesive Target dollar spot pockets here, but later on I go grab them and find that they're a lot easier to put dashboards in and covering up books that you don't maybe like the color on or the sayings. But I don't get that till later in the video. So I was gonna put just down a little sticker right there, but I didn't have access to it. And then I thought about this one. The scripture is a really good one, Ecclesiastes, basically saying there is a season for everything under heaven. And so I really love that. But I don't like how it's like off-centered. And so I'm on the hunt to try to figure out my life in covering that freaking blue sticker. What I want to kind of use this for is just on the go. I really just need a calendar. I just need a weekly and a daily. So monthly, daily, weekly. I always like stuff from my faith. Like, I think if I'm on the go, what would I like to write? What would I like to create? What I would like to update? And it's obviously just for fun. My on the go carries obviously are just like, I literally would just need like a small little notebook, but because I'm extra and because I'm a planner girl, I'm like, why would I do that? I'm going to create something really beautiful. So that's why I always go back and forth from weeks size, A6 size, personal TN, portable size. Sometimes I do standard TNs on the go. For me, changing them up all the time is one way to stay completely creative and don't feel like I'm missing out on anything in my stash. I'm using my stash. I'm just doing all of the things. And that's why I like to create and have little projects of things that I want to do. My main planner that stays home, there is no way that I'm going to take that out on the go. So I like to create little pretty things that are going to just make me smile, that are just going to make me want to use my things. And so that's basically what this is doing for me. I had like a thing that I wanted to do. I was re-inspired, and then I just go to town and start creating it. So I'm like noticing right here that this thing is completely off centered. I'm really trying to just cover up that blue. And then I noticed that this little journaling card is too short. So I'm trying to cover it and I'm like, what is happening? I don't like it. Later on, I fix it how I want it. But for the time being, I just kind of leave it and just cut out one of these little things, trying to, make something pretty and motivational and inspirational to look at. I always like little sayings on cards when I'm flipping through things, they encourage me. So right now I just kind of leave it like that just for right now. I come back and mess with it later, but my whole thing is trying to get the decor set up. I finally put these little sticky notes to kind of sit there, but everything's all off centered, and I'm like, whatever, I'm just gonna fix it later. So I really love creating. I think for anxiety, if you have anxiety, I would just say the majority of people nowadays do. Working with your hands is one way to completely relieve the stress or relieve the tension or the anxious energy that you have in your body. That's why people kind of like sew and crochet, and like they have fidget spinners, they click a pin. All of that relieves the anxious energy that you have in your body. This is my opinion, of course. And, I do have a counseling background, so like yeah. So anyhow, for me, cutting, gluing, creating, it does wonders for my anxiety. I know I have a friend, she makes leather TNs, and it really helps her and calms her. I think the majority of us that are in the planner community, we can relate to that, because I think that's why we go from planner to planner, cover to cover, insert to insert, because we're trying to find something that's going to soothe us. And I do the same exact thing. So I think that's what it makes it so fun with what we do. Trying to explain it to somebody else that doesn't love stationery pins or paper or scissors or glue or all that stuff, they'd be like, what the heck is happening? You guys are like in third grade. But it was just so relieving to find a whole mature community back in 2012 for me, and it was like, oh my gosh, I got lawyers and doctors and just attorneys and nurses and just all kinds of people loving planners like me. Okay, I don't feel alone. So being in this community and creating and using things and just having fun and not putting restraints on it, or limits or expectations or whatever, that's what makes things so wonderful. And I just went on a complete tangent. But honestly, this is what it does. So if you come to my channel and you see me changing from week to week and the comments, oh, I get dizzy, it's because you're not seeing the full picture. You just clicked on one video and you're just seeing all the stuff that I'm doing. I too would be like, what the hell is this chick doing? Is she just like... I get it. I totally get it. But I make so many videos and they tell a story. So you would have to watch them from start to finish. You know what I mean? But they really, really help. When I sat there and I was doing all this and I was doing it in my, own head, and there was a lot of distraction around me, but I had a mission and it was just so soothing for me. So anyhow, that I share all that to say that if you ever feel like, oh, I'm so wound up, go play with your planners and go create something and just go put it back on your shelf. It may not be that you're going to use it, but go create something, get inspired, get your mojo working, and go put it on the shelf. And then later, maybe you will use it. Don't be so confined in your brain that you have to just have one book and use it for this. And then, oh my gosh, I'm not going to change. And then I'm going to just be like, be squirrel, be all over the place. Just be you and unapologetically you. Like, you know what I mean? Just be your best self, and however that comes in this community. I think it's great. There are people that haven't found this community yet, and they're probably, wondering, man, I love stationery. I wish I can find, a friend, and then boom, they search a hashtag and they find all of us and they're brand new to the community. I mean, welcome them with open arms and be like, dude, have fun, because it just does so much for their mental health. So anyhow, as you see, I just am like going to town with creating all of the little mini dashboards, I guess you would call them. And covering them on the book. I still like how the other design peeks through with all the other colors. I love the layering. I love the washi. I love things sometimes when they don't match, but then I get really matchy. So that's what you see me trying to do. I'm trying to match up my, my paper with some of the things that I've already done. I don't know where I got this paper pad. I think I got this paper pad at Michael's, and I think what I wanted to do was try to find a fall one to match some of the different elements and some of the different things that I want to do. Okay, best friend, I was coming over here to kind of change the TV because it was super loud, and now she watches. So my daughter watches YouTube Kids, and there's this thing called Elsia and Anya. I think it's like a spinoff of Frozen, but they're like little toddlers or something. And oh my gosh, I'm sure if you have toddlers, your kids watch it, especially if you have girls. These little girls are pretty creepy, okay? But she just loves them. It does so much for her little speech and her creativity and her thinking. And so I'm just happy. So anyhow, that is what I'm doing. I love this little forest one because it, in my mind, matches the little forest washi that I have. And I love that blue peeking out. Y'all, I just love it. I just think it looks so wonderful. And you may think, man, what the heck? What is she doing? Just kidding. But I'm sure you're not thinking that because you guys are just all wonderful people. You're so sweet. So I find some more sticky adhesive stuff on my desk and I'm like, oh, wow, score. I'm going to put that down and then really use that to put the last like little decor on the back. Then I come back to that dreadful insert in the front because I like my inserts to really look nice, at least in the first insert or two, because I'm like, I flip through that a lot. I mean, of course I want all my inserts to look nice, but I'm like, can we fix that? So let's recap. In the front, I have like to do. So for me, and when I'm on the go, I'm like, ooh, groceries, list, things I gotta buy, things I need to do. That is what I love at the front. People call it inbox, people call it collections, people call it lists, whatever you want to call it, brain dump. I love, 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 love having. I am a huge lister. I will list the 10 commandments. I will list 31 virtues of a godly woman. I will have a whole grocery list, winter list for my kids, like stuff for my husband, stuff for our pets, like so anyhow, so I love that insert up front. I love the monthly and the weekly second. And then I have the last one for like commonplace. So if you stuck along this far, you are a real true MVP. You see there that there is a pin loop. I don't like that pin loop. What I'm going to do is just put one directly on the cover, and I love doing that, but this little guy right here keeps moving. I later put down some washi to kind of just cover it with my favorite forest washi. I need to really go back and buy another one of those because I have used the heck out of it. So as you can see, when I'm closing it, it's acting up. So I just go ahead and put the washi down. I'm sure later on I will mess with this. I'll start writing in it. I'll start doing all kinds of stuff with it. But this is just the initial setup of it. And then let me just say, if I go ahead and just don't want to use this, I could totally put it up on my shelf. But you know what it did for me? It calmed me. It soothed me. It had creativity for my brain. It sparked all kinds of fun, happy neurons, and that is what matters the most. So I'm putting one of my favorite pins that my husband bought for my birthday. I think, I want to say it is an Energel or a Tool. No, I think it's a Tool gel pen. So anyhow, my friends, that is this video. It is a setup from me on the go. It has all the little things that I would love, all the little trinkets. I do want to create some labels. I think you will see me do that. I'm putting where the calendar would technically be. It says January, but I will go and do it again and, recreate it. Also, that monthly starts on Sundays. Y'all know I can't do Sundays. So I will white it out because this paper is stark white. I will white it out and recreate it till Monday. There are, more things I need to do to this. So I would definitely do that later on. But I really wanted to get this out and show the process of me creating from scratch. So that way, when I show it in a video, you're not like, what the heck is that? I didn't see you bring that into the mix. I like to show all of the things that I am bringing into the mix because I think it's fun and I think it creates just some kind of cohesiveness to what are my companions. So somebody gave me this, and I'm really loving the little face. It reminds me again of the little forest animals. So I'm cutting it out, and then I round the corners kind of because I don't want to poke it. And it looks like a little washi strip card. Maybe later on I'll put some more washi on it, like my favorite washi. But I love the little face peeking out. And then just for really nice color, I love this little wood grain thing. So I kind of cut some off, put it at the front, and let it kind of do its thing there. Looks so pretty. Again, y'all, I'm just so I kind of am so excited about this. Oh my gosh, let's address this dreadful little insert right here. I make it to my liking in a minute, but I was trying to see how I wanted to incorporate that list thing, and then I decide that no, I'm only going to have, because I already put one for the notes, I'm only going to have one for the week. I'm not going to have like 3 different ones, although they do say many different sayings, like they have months, day, week, lists, today, which are really, really pretty. But I just decide, no, I'm only going to make a weekly one, and I'll show you how I do that in a minute. So there's my little forest friend. I want to keep the little fox there. So I kind of glue it down, and then now I actually love the way that looks. I feel like it's, 2 different patterns, 2 different things. The little green at the bottom highlights, there's some gold, there's some, all that. So I really love that. I might play with that a little bit more, but I find that I'm going to put these little craft sticky notes right there for some extra lists. So I do grab the weekly one, and I decide to get an Avery tab and repurpose that. I have some tabs over to the side, and Avery's tabs are my jam. So the first one, I write randomness there, that even though that is not randomness, I know it's like a list, commonplace brain dump to do. Sometimes I like to put my tabs just pretty quirky, like different things, because I'm like, or quirky. I said quirky. Y'all know what I mean. My son tells me all the time I make up words. I'm like, yeah, hello. So I put randomness, and then this is where I need a weekly tab. I was just going to write weekly, but then I decided to use the last Avery tab. I glue it on, and now I can interchangeably reposition the weekly, because the Avery is adhesive and it can move from week to week. So I kind of glue that down, then I later put some tape, and then I feel it's pretty secure, and then I can move it from week to week. It is a very chunky little weekly tab, and it's really different. It's not what I normally use, but I'm like, why don't you just, be extra with this setup? Like, why not? So I just kind of do that. And if I need to put some more packing tape or regular tape down for the weekly part, I can do that, and just kind of, it will work as like a laminate. So I guess cut off some of the side, and then now I have like a little weekly tab for wherever I am in the week. So I settle at the top. I put it on the side, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to close it if I want to? That just will not work. Yeah, it looks cute, but that will not work. So I kind of settle at the top. I normally like bottom tabs, but the way I did the week, it could not be a bottom tab. So I just kind of put it down some, and yeah, I have it like that. So anyhow, my friends, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging on. Thanks for supporting my little channel. Thanks for everything that you guys come along and watch, and your comments. I really do appreciate it. If you find something that you're like, you don't like, just keep the comment to yourself. Try hard. If I've got to watch my mouth, so do you. There are just some people that just put some weird comments. I literally just remove your comments. I'm not trying to be funny, but I like this little happy space in my world over here, and I don't need negativity. So that's, if you ever find your comment not there, that's because I removed it, my friend. Doesn't mean we can't be friends still. But I got this little gold tab here. I'm just writing notes, because more than likely that'll be my commonplace book. It's a grid notebook, so I will just do my stuff. Thanks for watching, friends. I hope you have a great evening.